big plans to, to put our football team in a position to win championships. I've always said that one of the main reasons we're going to do that would be our coaching staff. As we've gone through this recruiting season, I think that even more. Outstanding job by our recruiting staff and our coaching staff. I've had a chance to, first off, to get a lot of great meals, and that's kind of one of the benefits you get. I've had a chance to go out into a lot of homes, a lot of different places, and spend some quality time with our assistant coaches, and to just listen to them sell our university. They did a great job with it. So we had an outstanding staff that did a super job of recruiting from start until, the finish, we just kind of finished up a little earlier. And they were recruiting hard right up until the end. So just could be more proud of our staff as we go forward with them. Talking about recruiting and what we needed to accomplish. Of course, we need to do a lot better job coaching, and we will. But a part of improving our ball club is also to bring in new athletes, more athletes. We graduated 24 guys that have meant a lot to our program, so we needed to replace them. I know from my initial press conference, I talked about how and where we would be recruiting. And I'm talking about the recruiting areas. And I mentioned our home state. And we have to be able to keep our best athletes in state. By signing, around 10 players in our state, puts us, in the position to do some of the things that we've said. We also mentioned the St. Louis area and how, we need to be a factor there. Being able to get about 3 players from that area, of course, is big. We highlighted a couple of other areas, Florida being one. Great football, of course, is played down there. And I think we'll sign about 7 players from that area is pretty important also. Then, of course, we sprinkle in some other players. So, outstanding class we feel like we have as we go forward. Of course, spring ball is right around the corner. We have 4 athletes on campus right now, already participating in our off-season drills, getting to know their team, and for us to define their roles. So, putting that all together, we should have a better football team, for our fans. Fans have been awesome, paying attention to what we're doing throughout the recruiting process. So it's kind of good for all of us to be able to celebrate today together. We'll have time to kind of discuss each individual player. And our position coaches, of course, are here. Guys that recruited each player here, and they'll be available a little bit later on to get some more details about how this all happened. So again, exciting day for us, and it'll be good to kind of catch our breath a little bit and kind of lock in now with our current team. I'll take your question.
Lovie, what were the challenges of the timing? You guys came in late in the process, but it seemed like you were still able to land a lot of yours. What were the challenges, and how do you overcome those?
Well, some of the challenges, when you're late, you're a little bit behind. But you can't. That was reality. So how we were going to tackle it is just start from day one of trying to catch up. And we caught up. And we have a staff like we have. We identified the areas, let the coaches know exactly what they were responsible for, and let them go out and do what they do best. So as far as the challenges, we have an outstanding university to recruit people to, players to. They see that. After we got guys on our campus, professors, people, staff on campus for our recruiting weekend did a great job of just explaining what it's like to be a student here. And so many people went beyond the call of duty. You can catch up quickly when you have people that love the university like that.
you didn't really have any decommits in this class. It seemed guys that committed pretty much stayed the course throughout. What do you think that says about this class?
Well, that's, commitments and all that's, kind of newer a little bit on how early part of the recruiting process and what's changed a little bit. We're committing a little bit earlier. We did have a lot of guys that, I'm trying to think just right off the top of my head, who actually decommitted. I mean, through recruiting, there's always a couple guys that, maybe during the process we thought might, end up going our way, and it didn't work out, whether it was us or them. But for the most part, it played out. And what they saw early on, that didn't change. I've always thought if you like something early, and we don't change an awful lot, why should you? So guys pretty much stay true to what they believe.
What foundation did you set today?
Well, hopefully a good solid foundation to help us win championships someday. Of course, that was the plan all along. If you just look at the class, we always talk about, where do you start building your team? Up front on both sides of the ball. I think we signed 10 linemen today. It has to start there. So the foundation starts from there. I think we touched on every position on our football team, adding guys. We haven't signed 20, we didn't sign, we have a couple other slots still open, which is playing that way also. So things pretty much went the way we wanted them to this year.
Those offensive linemen, Coach, talk about that group, and does that the size that you added, does that allow you to play a little bit different brand of football?
Did you notice the size?
I did.
Well, I know they are a good-looking group. Good height. Yes, good size, but a good football players. We have a profile at every position, and we feel like we got that. When you mention size and the type of football we like to play, yes, we like to be able to run the football. Or to run the football, you need a little bit of size and strength. We do feel like we have that. We needed athletic ability coming in to replace some that left. We definitely got that. So, as we talk to you today, again, the profile that we had and what we were looking for at the position, we feel like we got.
Lovie, you've got an NFL background, and a lot of your staff does, and we felt like that might be an advantage or helpful once you started recruiting. Could you just talk about what you found as you interacted with kids and their families? Did that work in your favor?
I definitely think it worked in our favor. And what they're looking for, they know now. Today's athlete knows how important it is to get a quality education. They want their degree to mean something. That was definitely the case. But most players would like to go and finish up at the highest level. There's another step from college, the NFL. With our experience, we do have the facts, reality. We do have more experience than any staff, NFL experience on our staff. That does mean a lot. Did we use that? Of course we did. This is who we are. And I think people bought into that and the type of instruction that they're going to get on a daily basis. In time, you'll, of course, get a chance to talk to all of these guys, and they'll be able to tell you in detail a little bit more on exactly why. But I'm going to go back to our staff. What got us in position to tell the guys about all these things were, our assistant coaches and our recruiting staff that put us in that direction.
Lovie, you brought up the recruiting staff. It's obviously beefed up from what it was before, and that was a big
Yes.
personnel department. How about the scouting department? You guys seem to find guys that other people weren't in on. What part did they play in this class?
They played a big part in it, everybody has a role. It's the same on your offensive and defensive staff. Everybody has you have to define exactly what their responsibility is, and you go to work from there. You don't care about who's getting credit. And then in order to sign a player, you have to identify that player. And our recruiting staff starts with that, of evaluating. And from there, you have to get approved. And a typical player has to be approved by our recruiting staff, of course, the position coach, the coordinator at that position. So you have to go through all these different channels before you get to a position where we're making an offer. And that's how we did it.
As you were working on this class, how much were you looking ahead for next year, and have you made some offers for 18?
Well, I mean, that has been the part that is new to me, is how soon, well, first off, all the classes, I feel like, are mixed together. I mean, we're all, yes, we have made offers to guys that will be juniors this coming year. You know, today, of course, we can't reach out to players, but they can reach out to us. A part of our routine today was not only trying to solidify the guys we have coming in this class, but of course getting a jump start, a more official jump start on the following year's class. Absolutely.
You added some depth on the defensive line and even in the secondary, but how do you feel this class did at the quarterback spot, and what's that position like moving into spring ball?
Well, I think, and as I said earlier, I think we touched on adding some type of depth at every position. Of course, we have one quarterback on this roster right now signed in this class, Cam Thomas coming in. So every position, whether it be wide receiver, I think we're adding a good football player that'll have an opportunity to come in and play early. Spring ball, of course, is a part of that also. Our numbers are down a little bit right now, so we're going to go back to the excitement about that also, and some of our 4 players that had an opportunity to come in early to get a quick look at who they are and what they can do for us too.
Coach, at special teams, you still looking for specialists, and will that be a scholarship guy, or are you looking at walk-ons? Or?
Well, let's go. Like right now, we're bringing in a class, but recruiting never stops. We're always looking to improve our ball club, whether that be a specialist. You know, we just talk about our specialists. Of course, we had Chase did a good job kicking the ball as our kicker last year. Probably need a little bit more improvement from our punting game. Having a punt returner that can change the game also is an area that we're looking toward. And as we bring in players at other positions, we'll have about 3 or 4 of these guys that will be a punt returner or return kickoffs also. But as far as adding players, I mean, that continues, and it'll never stop.
Coach, of the handful of commitments you got last spring, pretty much all of them were in-state. Did that help your momentum, do you think, with other athletes in Illinois?
I think so. No, I know so. First off, for our commitment to, as we go out, the way we're going to do it is with a foundation of state players from Illinois and, of course, the St. Louis area I talked about. But you can say that, but for some of the good football players in our state to get on board early and stay that way. And in the end, I talked about our recruiting staff recruiting and our coaches on what they did. It was also a part of them too. So many of our early commitments, at the end, they were the ones, now with social media, group chats, they're talking throughout, selling our university as hard as we were as coaches. So, yes, I think that helped a lot, especially with some of our in-state players that really believed in our vision for how we're going to go forward with our program.
You had to fight pretty late off of some pretty other major offers for Kendrick Green. How important was it that he chose you over, say, in Iowa, Minnesota, picked his in-state program over any of the other Power 5s appeared on?
When we say that we're going to do it with our in-state players, and we need to keep our best players are wanted by other teams. And for us to make that move, we need to be able to convince our best players in the state to come to our university. Mentioning Kendrick Green, Kendrick got on board. He looked around and he compared us with everyone else, and he chose us. So to have a guy like that helped an awful lot. And as we go forward with next year's class, as I see it, the state of Illinois football is only getting better and better. And each time you have a good football player like that say that I want to be a part of this rebirth of our program, it has to help. And he helped an awful lot. Kendrick Green is an excellent football player, great wrestler, very good student. He's going to bring an awful lot to our football team.
Lovie, I know today you got great news with Bobby Roundtree committing to you. I know you take an interest in every kid that comes here, but I know you take a specific interest in him. What does he fit that you love in this defense?
Well, we do take a special interest in all of the athletes coming in. Bobby so happened was the last guy to get on board today, our last recruit that signed up officially. But, in our system, defensively is about the front four, they're the engine of the defense. And we want to be able to get pressure with 4 guys in an ideal world. No position is more important than the right end position. Bobby Roundtree is a right end for us. So it's pretty important, for us to get a player like that. We had a lot of different options, and he looked at it all. We brought Bobby in early. He came in on his official visit through the season. So to have a player like that go through it all and then decide to come here says a lot.
Lovie, what were the conversations like trying to determine class balance, and do you go JUCO or do you try and get more high school kids? What were those conversations like with your staff?
Well, just as a basic philosophy, it's pretty easy with that. We want to build our program with high school athletes. We'll use junior college athletes, transfers as a supplement, no more than that. So we start off with that basic piece. That's the foundation of how we're going to build our program, and then you start plugging in people from there, looking at everybody. So that's how we'll do it. As we break up, you get a chance to talk to some of our assistant coaches. They can kind of go over some of that in detail a little bit more too. This class that we have coming in, again, we are pretty pumped up about it. And I think what a lot of the guys saw was an opportunity too. When you come in new, people want to be a part of building something. And I think these guys feel like they're going to have a big impact on what we do going forward, and we think the same thing. So again, a lot of excitement today. If you haven't gone through a signing day, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat, when you go out and you recruit, you go into the homes, and you get a chance to meet the different relatives, the people that are important in their lives. And for them on this day to all come together, the excitement of seeing guys actually sign, some a little bit more emotional than others, it really is a pretty neat thing to see. And I'm going to go back for us to be able to go into the homes and I'm going to say, to eat great meals and to let them just open their homes to you, and then trust us that we're going to help their son, develop. We talk a lot about developing the man first. That's our role. Fathers handed the baton off to us on continuing the growth of their sons. Pretty neat. So,
Which is more exciting, draft day or signing day?
both of them are pretty exciting. Some of the same type of emotion that you have. And the first bit of excitement that I think that gets a player ready for draft day is going through a signing day. And that's where our athletes are right now.
Coach, do you and the staff get a little break now? You've been going hard for a couple of months, or longer than that, but do you get some time off or no?
Well, I think I can speak for the staff. I mean, we'll take some time off in the summer. Spring ball is starting when? 14th.
Back to
So
work.
we'll catch our breath a little bit. I know the Super Bowl is on this weekend, but recruiting never stops, and we'll go from there.
On a personal level, what did you do last night? Did you sleep? How are you feeling?
On a personal level, by last night, most of it was done. There were probably 2 athletes. You never know. You get surprises. But there were probably 2 athletes we weren't sure of. So what I did, I went and supported our basketball team for the first half. Got an emergency call from about one of the guys, so we left at halftime, and my wife and I kind of sit up in my office a little bit with some more of the coaches. How about that for a night?
Do we have a question from the phone line before we break up? Don't hear any? Anything else here in the room? All right.
Again, I